Act 2. Miyako. A warm glow of love and light surrounded the warrior's wings as he soared high above Kana's throne. He loved her with all his heart, and he had the highest respect and admiration for her siblings, Hikaru and Siri. When they were alone, Kana, Hikaru and Siri were incredible, but together they were capable of infinite life, love, sight, power, knowledge, freedom, which is why the Royal Guard referred to them as the One. As he flew, cheers of applause echoed from around the stadium where the One's throne stood. The warrior circled around, swooped down. He could see Kana, Hikaru and Siri standing together leading the applause. They were thrilled for him because today he would take a place of honor as leader of the entire army. Today, he would be singled out and given a new name, a name that would set him above the other warriors. He glided towards the center, soaking in the atmosphere until finally he came to a stop above Kana's throne. Truthfully, he was quite a show-off, and true to form, he landed as slowly as he could, bathing in the adoration radiating from thousands upon thousands of his warrior people. Even Kana, Hikaru and Siri cheered him. Every Tenshi warrior in the eternal dimension was created to love and serve the siblings. But starting today, this man would also be served and celebrated as having a name above all the others. As he drifted to a stop, a feeling of self-importance took him over, and he gazed out across the kingdom. The roar from the crowds faded in his ears, and a strong sense of power swelled within him to the point of overflowing. "I'm going to be served," he said to himself in a secret little smile. "Me, the Tenshi with the greatest of names, the name above all names." Everyone in the eternal dimension knew the legend of the name above all names. It was said that someone would emerge who would have the greatest of names, and that being would be praised above all others. The name above all names was destined to rule, to be loved, and to be given the highest honor of becoming the ruler of the eternal dimension. This warrior always assumed the ruler would be Kana, Hikaru or Siri, but they didn't seem to want or need more worship. In which case, the sovereign of the eternal dimension must be someone else. Why not him? When he finally landed properly with both feet on the ground, his attention was refocused and he noticed that Kana had stepped forward. She'd obviously been speaking for some time. "Your gift of asking questions is the power of pure curiosity, and it brings us so much joy. For this reason, you will be called Tenshi Miyako, the first to be named. Miyako, your curiosity is beautiful. You lead well, and we're so proud you're here with us." He soaked in the adulation. He wasn't required to speak, and that was probably for the best. He would have certainly shed a tear. Hikaru took a step forward. "In honor of this joyous occasion, my sisters and I would like to make an announcement." As he spoke, a great hush surged through the crowd. "Are you sure this is the right time?" whispered Siri. "Maybe we could just wait a little bit longer before we say any more." "As of today," Hikaru continued, "Kana, Siri and I will be making plans for the grasslands. Plans for a new place for all our people to live." Miyako stood, holding his new name on his lips. This was a day like no other for him, but something felt wrong A small churn of pain began to twist his stomach. Hikaru went on. "We're asking for a number of you to join us." Miyako felt the shock of pride zap through his chest. Wasn't he important now? Surely this was something Hikaru should run past him first. "We're gonna ask for a lot of you to come, to set up camp with us. Kana, Siri and I will gladly take volunteers." A murmur started rumbling through the Tenshi army, and Miyako looked on from his new place in his world. There he was, not part of the conversation on the ground, but not part of what Hikaru was talking about either. Suddenly, a rush of adrenaline burst through his mind and jolted his body forward. He waved his arms grandly at the crowd. "And I..." He froze, but it was too late. "Will lead any warrior and will personally welcome them into the Royal Guard." Now, Miyako knew that this kind of outburst was wrong. Not only was it not allowed, but it was also unheard of. At best, the eternal dimension was a place of perfection. At the very least, it was a place of utmost respect. But this outburst was born out of pure jealousy and humiliated pride. The entire arena seemed to stiffen as one and stood in stunned silence. Would Kana react? Would Siri take him to one side and tell him off? Would Hikaru contradict him in front of everyone? Miyako stood for what felt like an age, and then, out of nowhere, Hikaru spoke. "Quite right too, Miyako." Phew, that saved the moment. Miyako smiled, letting go of a small nervous laugh as the whole army erupted in cheers and applause.